Welcome back to The Lazy Gardener, the channel where we keep things simple, real, and honest. I am your host, and today, we are not talking about planting tips or watering schedules. Today, we are going in a completely different direction, because today's topic could literally save a life. Maybe your child's life, maybe your pet's life, and honestly, maybe even yours. Here is something that nobody in the gardening world wants to admit. Some of the most beautiful plants being sold at your local nursery right now today are genuinely dangerous. We are talking about plants that can stop a heart, shut down a liver, destroy kidneys, and make it nearly impossible to breathe. And the worst part? They are sitting on those shelves with no warning label. No question sticker. Nothing. Just a pretty price tag and a smiling staff member telling you how easy they are to care for. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. How dangerous can a plant really be? It is just a plant. And honestly, I used to think the same thing. But the more I dug into this, the more I realized that the gardening industry has a dirty little secret it would rather you not know about. Because if you knew, you might not buy. And that right there, friends, is exactly why I made this video. Today, we are counting down 7 of the most dangerous plants that are regularly sold at nurseries. And I promise you, by the time we get to number 2, you are going to look at your living room very differently. Some of these might already be sitting in your home right now. So stay with me all the way to the end, because I am also giving you safe alternatives for every single plant on this list, plus some bonus plants you absolutely need to know about. And before we jump in, if you are new here, welcome to The Lazy Gardener. Hit that subscribe button right now. We talk about gardening in the most real, no-nonsense way possible, and this channel is growing fast. You do not want to miss what is coming next. Alright, let us get into it. Number 1. Oleander. If you have ever driven through a warm climate neighborhood and spotted a tall, lush shrub covered in clusters of bright pink, red, or white flowers, chances are you were looking at oleander. And honestly, it is stunning. It looks like something out of a tropical dream. It is drought resistant, it grows fast, it smells beautiful, and nurseries absolutely love selling it because it checks every box on the list of what people want in a garden plant. But here is the truth that nobody tells you at the nursery counter. Every single part of this plant is poisonous. I am not talking about one part or one type of exposure. I mean every part. The leaves, the flowers, the stems, the roots, even the smoke that rises if you burn a branch. Every single part of the oleander plant contains toxic compounds called cardiac glycosides. And these are the same family of chemicals that doctors use in controlled doses to treat heart failure. The key word there is controlled. In the wild plant, the dose is anything but controlled. A single leaf is enough to be fatal to a child. One leaf. And this is not just a scary story to keep you watching. Oleander poisoning is very well documented. In California, there have been cases of horses dying after someone tossed oleander clippings into a pasture. Pet hospitals across the country issue warnings every summer when people trim their oleander hedges and the clippings land on the ground where animals eat them. Dogs and cats that ingest oleander experience vomiting, drooling, a dramatically slowed heart rate, and in many cases, sudden death if they do not get treatment fast enough. Here is the part that really gets me. This plant is still sold everywhere. No warning label. No question sticker. Just pure, beautiful, deadly oleander sitting in a nursery pot waiting to go home with an unsuspecting family. Now, if you love that vibrant, tropical, colorful flower look, here is what I want you to do instead. Plant hibiscus. It gives you the same show-stopping color, the same lush tropical feel, the same wow factor in your garden. And it is completely non-toxic to both pets and people. Same beauty, zero danger. That is the kind of plant the Lazy Gardener recommends. Drop a comment below right now. Did you know oleander was this dangerous? Be honest. I want to know how many of you had absolutely no idea. And while you were down there, tell me if you have ever had this plant in your yard. Okay. Number 2 is where things get really interesting. Because this next plant does not just look beautiful. It looks almost magical. Like something a fantasy garden designer would dream up. And yet, inside it is hiding a chemical that can send your heart into complete chaos. Number 2. Foxglove. If you have ever seen foxglove in person, you know exactly what I mean when I say it looks enchanting. Tall, elegant stalks covered in tubular bell-shaped flowers dripping in shades of purple, pink, cream, and white. It looks like something that belongs in a fairy tale. Like tiny flowers designed by an artist who wanted nature to feel like pure magic. Nurseries stock it heavily in spring because it is genuinely impossible to walk past without stopping to look. It attracts bees and hummingbirds. It turns a flat flower bed into a vertical masterpiece. And people scoop it up without thinking twice because it looks so completely innocent. But here is the twist that changes everything. Foxglove contains compounds called digitalis glycosides. And just like oleander, these compounds have been used in heart medicine for centuries. Back in the 18th century, a physician named William Withering documented how digitalis from foxglove could strengthen a weak heart. It was groundbreaking medicine at the time. But here is the problem. In the wild plant, the dose is completely uncontrolled. And the line between a medicinal amount and a lethal amount is razor thin. Ingesting foxglove can cause nausea, severe vomiting, disturbing visual effects, a dangerously irregular heartbeat, seizures, and full cardiac arrest. And because those tubular flowers look almost like colorful little pods or edible pods, children can very easily mistake them for something they should put in their mouth. In the United Kingdom, where foxglove grows naturally in hedgerows and gardens, there have been documented reports of gardeners suffering serious poisoning simply from handling the plant without gloves and then touching their face. The toxins can absorb through skin contact if you are not careful. Now I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want your answer in the comments. Do you think nurseries should be legally required to put warning labels on plants like foxglove and oleander? I personally believe they absolutely should be, and I know that some of you completely disagree with me on that. Drop your opinion below. Let us actually have that conversation because I think it matters. If you want that tall, vertical burst of color in your garden without the risk, try snapdragons. They grow in the same height range, offer the same vibrant spectrum of pinks, purples, and yellows. They are completely safe for children and pets. And they are honestly one of the most cheerful plants you can grow. Same look. No nightmare. Now hold on tight because number 3 is something that might already be sitting in your living room right now. It is one of the most popular indoor plants in the entire world. It is in offices, hospitals, hotels, and homes across the globe. And it has a name that is literally a warning hiding in plain sight. Number 3. Dumbcane. If you have never heard the name dumbcane, you have almost certainly seen the plant. Sold in nurseries under its scientific name Dieffenbachia. It is a thick, lush, gorgeous indoor plant with large glossy leaves patterned in deep green with creamy white and yellow markings. It looks like tropical royalty. It tolerates low light. It is easy to care for. It grows quickly. And it makes any corner of a room feel alive and full of personality. It sounds like the perfect plant. Right up until it is not. Inside the leaves and stems of dumbcane are microscopic crystals called calcium oxalate rhaphides. These are needle-shaped crystals that are essentially invisible to the naked eye. But the moment someone bites or chews on a leaf, those crystals are released, and they fire into the soft tissues of the mouth and throat like tiny glass shards. The burning starts almost immediately. Then the swelling. The lips swell. The tongue swells. And in severe cases, the throat swells so much that breathing becomes difficult and speech becomes impossible. That is literally where the name comes from. Dumbcane. Because the victim cannot speak. This happens to toddlers who explore with their mouths. It happens to cats and dogs who chew on stems out of curiosity. Poison control centers across the United States and Europe receive calls about this plant on a regular basis. In severe cases, hospital treatment is required to keep the airway from closing entirely. And the sap on the outside of the plant is no innocent bystander either. Getting it on your bare skin can cause irritation and redness. And if you rub your eyes after handling it without washing your hands, you can experience intense burning and temporary vision problems. And yet, it is one of the most widely sold indoor plants on the market. No warning, no label, just a pretty plant sitting in a decorative pot ready to go home with your family. If you want that bold, lush, tropical indoor look without the hidden hazard, go with a parlor palm or a Boston fern. Both are hardy, easy to maintain, completely non-toxic, and absolutely gorgeous indoors. Same impact, no drama. Now, are you subscribed to The Lazy Gardener yet? If not, take 2 seconds right now and hit that button. We are building a community of gardeners who actually know what they are doing, and this channel is just getting started. Okay, number 4 is about to break some hearts, especially if you have pets at home, because this next plant is marketed as a beautiful tropical accent piece. It is sold in both indoor and outdoor settings, and for dogs especially, even a tiny taste can end in absolute tragedy. Number 4, the Sago Palm. The Sago Palm is genuinely beautiful. It has that low, spreading silhouette with dark, glossy fronds that fan out dramatically like a miniature jungle plant. It looks exotic. It looks expensive. It looks like the kind of thing you would find decorating the lobby of a luxury hotel. Nurseries sell it as a premium ornamental plant, and people love placing it on patios, in living rooms, and in entryways as a statement piece. But for dogs and cats, the Sago Palm is one of the most dangerous plants that exists. Not one of the most dangerous nursery plants. One of the most dangerous plants, period. Every single part of the Sago Palm is toxic. But the seeds are in a category of their own. They contain a toxin called sikicin, and when ingested, it attacks the liver with terrifying speed. For dogs in particular, even a very small nibble of the seeds can trigger vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, and liver failure within hours. The survival rate for dogs that develop liver failure from Sago Palm ingestion is genuinely low, and the treatment is intensive, difficult, and expensive. Veterinary hospitals across the United States issue warnings about this plant consistently throughout the year. And the stories from pet owners who have experienced this are heartbreaking. A dog finds a fallen seed in the yard. The owner rushes to the emergency vet. And despite everything medical science can do, they lose their pet. All because of a plant that looked like a harmless, elegant decorative accent. Here is what really gets under my skin about this one. The Sago Palm does not look threatening at all. It has no thorns. No bright warning colors. No smell that might deter an animal. It looks completely and entirely harmless. And that is exactly what makes it so dangerous. If you want that tropical palm look for your patio or living room, choose an Erica palm or a ponytail palm instead. Both are completely safe for pets and children. Both give you that same lush tropical feel. And neither one will have you driving to the emergency vet at 2 in the morning. And I want to throw a question at you right now, and I genuinely want you to debate me in the comments. Should plant nurseries be held legally responsible if they sell a plant like the Sago Palm without any warning label and a family pet dies as a result? I have a strong opinion on this. I want to hear yours. Drop it below because I know this one is going to divide this community. Alright, number 5. And I need you to prepare yourself because this one is not just scary. This one is famous for all the wrong reasons. This is the plant that spy novels are written about. The one that governments have studied as a potential weapon. And it is sitting in some people's backyards right now looking absolutely stunning. Number 5. The Castor Bean Plant. The Castor Bean Plant is one of those plants that genuinely looks like it belongs in a dramatic statement garden. It grows tall and fast. Its oversized star-shaped leaves are often a rich burgundy or deep green. The seed pods are spiky and eye-catching. The whole plant has an almost theatrical presence that makes it stand out in a garden the way a centerpiece stands out in a room. Nurseries sell it for exactly that reason. Fills space fast, it looks bold, and it is remarkably easy to grow. But inside those spiky seed pods is one of the most toxic naturally occurring substances on the planet. The seeds of the Castor Bean Plant contain ricin. Yes, that ricin. The one from the spy novels and the crime documentaries. The one that works by shutting down your body's ability to produce proteins at the cellular level, which eventually leads to organ failure. A tiny amount is enough to be fatal to a human being. Just 2 or 3 seeds can be lethal to a small child. And here is what makes this particularly frightening. The seeds are actually quite pretty. They are smooth and shiny, with interesting patterns on the surface. To a young child, they could look like decorative beads, candy, or something worth picking up and putting in their mouth. There are documented cases of children being hospitalized after ingesting castor bean seeds. Poison control centers have on record numerous emergency calls linked directly to this plant. And in some regions, growing it is actively discouraged or restricted by local authorities because of just how dangerous those seeds truly are. Even for adults, handling the seeds without proper care, and then touching your eyes or mouth without washing your hands first is considered a genuine risk. If you want that bold, leafy, dramatic garden statement, try elephant ear or canna lily instead. You get those large, dramatic, eye-catching leaves. You get the wow factor. You get the plant that starts conversations when guests visit your garden. But without the internationally recognized poison hiding inside the seed pods. If you are finding this video useful, pause for 1 second and share it with someone you know who gardens or who has young children and pets at home. This information could genuinely prevent an accident. And sharing costs you absolutely nothing. Okay. Number 6. And this one is going to generate some serious debate because this next plant is one of the most popular landscaping choices in the entire world. It is in front yards, in parks, in shopping center gardens, and lining streets in spring everywhere you look. And most people have absolutely no idea what is hiding inside it. Number 6. Azaleas and Rhododendrons. Spring arrives and suddenly nurseries cannot keep azaleas on the shelves. And it is genuinely easy to understand why. When they bloom, they are absolutely spectacular. Dense clusters of flowers in pink, purple, red, and white completely covering the plant from top to bottom. They are evergreen. They are relatively low maintenance. and they transform any garden into a jaw-dropping display that stops neighbors in their tracks. But hiding inside those gorgeous blooms is a group of compounds called granulotoxins. And granulotoxins are not something to take lightly. When ingested, they interfere with the body's sodium channels. These are the electrical signals that control your nerves, your muscles, and critically, your heart. Even a small amount, just a few leaves or some nectar, can cause nausea, severe dizziness, abdominal cramping, vomiting, dangerously low blood pressure, and in serious cases, seizures or fatal heart complications. And here is a piece of history that genuinely stopped me in my tracks when I first came across it. There is a real phenomenon known as mad honey. In certain parts of Turkey and the Black Sea region, bees that feed on rhododendron nectar produce honey that is itself toxic because of the granulotoxins carried over from the flowers. There are ancient historical accounts of soldiers being given this honey during wartime and becoming so violently ill with confusion, vomiting, and paralysis that they could not fight. The toxin was powerful enough to transfer all the way through the nectar into the honey itself. And mad honey poisoning cases are still reported in those regions today. For pets, azalea ingestion is a documented emergency situation. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals lists azaleas as among the most dangerous plants for dogs and cats. Symptoms include vomiting, drooling, extreme weakness, dangerous heart arrhythmia, and in cases where treatment is delayed, death. If you want that spring burst of color without the hidden risk, try planting camellias or viburnum instead. They give you the same lush green foliage, the same beautiful show of flowers, and the same curb appeal. Completely safe. No hidden toxins lurking beneath the surface. Now we are almost at number 7. And I want you to stick with me because number 7 is the one that breaks people's hearts the most when they finally find out. It is a plant that people associate with beauty and celebration and love. And for cats, it is one of the most lethal things that can ever enter a home. Number 7. Lilies. Nobody thinks of the lily as dangerous. It is the flower of weddings and funerals. It graces Easter altars and holiday dinner tables. Florists love it. Garden centers sell it in pots every single spring. It smells incredible. It looks elegant and timeless. And it brings a sense of beauty and occasion to any room it sits in. But for cats, the lily is a silent assassin. And I want to be very precise here because this is genuinely important. I am not talking about a cat eating an entire bouquet. I am not talking about chewing on a whole plant. I am talking about the pollen. Just the pollen from a lily flower. If it brushes onto a cat's fur during a walk past the arrangement, and the cat then licks it off during routine grooming, that tiny amount is enough to trigger acute kidney failure. The water sitting in a vase of cut lilies, if a cat drinks from it, can be just as fatal. Within hours of exposure, cats begin vomiting, become deeply lethargic, stop eating entirely, and if emergency treatment does not begin very quickly, most do not survive. Veterinarians warn about this plant constantly. And every single holiday season without fail, emergency vet clinics report heartbreaking cases of cat owners who had absolutely no idea. They placed Easter lilies on the kitchen counter, went to work, came home, and found their cat in crisis. The survival rate drops dramatically if treatment does not begin within 18 hours of exposure. That is how aggressively lily toxicity moves through a cat's system. And here is what makes this even more difficult. Not all lilies are equally dangerous to humans. Some are relatively mild in their effects on people. But for cats, every true lily must be considered a serious threat. Easter lily, tiger lily, daylily, stargazer lily, Asiatic lily. If you have a cat sharing your home, all of them are completely off the table. Even dog owners should exercise caution. While dogs are less sensitive than cats, lily ingestion can still cause uncomfortable and sometimes serious gastrointestinal problems. If you want that elegant, long-stemmed look in a vase or a pot, go with orchids or roses instead. Both are safe for pets. Both are genuinely beautiful. Both bring that same sense of occasion and warmth to a room without turning your home into an invisible danger zone for the animals you love. Now that we have covered all 7, let me give you a few quick honorable mentions. Plants that did not make the main list but that absolutely deserve a mention because they are more common than most people realize. First up, hydrangeas. Those beautiful round clusters of flowers that look like giant fluffy snowballs. People love them. They are hugely popular in gardens everywhere. But the leaves and flower buds contain cyanogenic compounds, which are chemicals related to the family that can release cyanide in the body. In large enough amounts, this is a serious situation. Pets and small children who chew on hydrangea plant parts are at real risk. Next, monk's hood, also called aconitum, also known historically as the queen of poisons. It grows in tall, dramatic spikes of deep blue and purple that look absolutely regal in a garden. But just touching it with bare hands can cause tingling and numbness. Ingesting even a small amount has been documented as fatal throughout history, going all the way back to ancient Rome. If you grow this plant, always wear gloves. Every single time, without exception. And finally, philodendrons. These popular climbing and trailing indoor plants are absolutely everywhere. They are stylish, easy to grow, and incredibly widespread. But like dumbcane, they contain calcium oxalate crystals in their leaves. Chewing on a leaf causes burning, swelling, and drooling in pets or toddlers. Usually not life-threatening, but very painful, very scary, and absolutely enough to result in a vet visit or a trip to the doctor. The point I want you to carry with you after this video is straightforward. Nurseries are businesses, and businesses sell what people want to buy. It is not always their priority to protect you from what they are selling. That responsibility belongs to you. And the most powerful way you can protect yourself, your children, and your pets is simply to know what you are bringing through your front door. So let me give you 4 quick practical tips to wrap this up. Tip 1. Before you buy any new plant, take 10 seconds and search its name on your phone. Add the words toxic to pets or safe for children at the end of the search. 10 seconds. That one small habit could prevent a very serious accident. Tip 2. If you ever suspect that a child or pet has chewed on any plant and you are not certain it is safe, do not wait and see what happens. For your pet, call your vet or an emergency animal hospital immediately. For a person, contact poison control or go straight to the emergency room. Time is the single most important factor in nearly every plant poisoning case. The faster treatment starts, the better the outcome. Tip 3. Fill your garden with beautiful, safe alternatives. Lavender, marigolds, sunflowers, snapdragons, camellias, roses, orchids, hibiscus. All of them are stunning. All of them bring life, color, and joy to your space. And none of them will hurt the people or animals you care about most. Tip 4. Teach your children one simple rule early. If you do not know what it is, do not touch it and absolutely do not eat it. That one rule, taught young, prevents more plant accidents than almost anything else you can do. And here is my final thought before we close out today. The fact that plants like these are sold in public nurseries without any kind of warning label is not just a gap in consumer knowledge. I personally believe it is a failure of responsibility by an industry that profits from people's love of beauty and nature. Now, I know some of you will push back on that and say that consumers need to do their own research. And yes, that is true. You do. But I also believe that when a product has the potential to kill a child or a family pet, the absolute bare minimum should be a clear warning label. That is my opinion. You are completely welcome to disagree with it loudly in the comments below. That is exactly what the comment section is there for. So there you have it. The 7 most dangerous plants regularly sold at nurseries, plus a few extras to keep on your radar. Oleander, Foxglove, dumbcane, the Sago Palm, the Castor Bean Plant, Azaleas and Rhododendrons, and the lily, all of them stunning, all of them dangerous, and none of them coming with a single warning. Now I want to hear from you. Which plant on this list shocked you the most? Which one made your jaw drop? Was it the oleander with its heart-stopping toxins? The Castor Bean Plant with its infamous ricin? Or maybe the lily, which can kill a cat with nothing more than a light dusting of pollen? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I genuinely read every single comment on this channel and I love hearing from this community. And if this video changed how you will shop for plants going forward, please share it with someone who needs to see it. A friend who has cats, parent with small children, a neighbor who just set up a new garden. This information genuinely matters, and sharing it costs you absolutely nothing. If you are not yet subscribed to The Lazy Gardener, now is the moment. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a new video. We cover everything from plant safety to easy gardening tricks designed to help you grow more with far less effort. Because that is what we do here. Simple, real, honest gardening. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe out there in your garden. And I will see you in the next one.